So the title of today's show and the title of this clip is going to be called I'm Not Selling. And we're going to give a shout out to, I'll save the shout out for now. So let's look at this. It's a tweet from Horse, the Flow Horse. So it says, if Saylor sold today, he would go down as having placed one of the biggest, best trades of all time. 4.9 billion so far. To put that into perspective, here are some of the biggest in history. John Paulson's bet against the subprime mortgages in 2007. Paulson's hedge fund earned approximately $4 billion by shorting subprime mortgages during the financial crisis of 2008. George Soros, scum of the earth, shorting the British pound in 1992. Soros profited about $1 billion by betting against the British pound, an event known as the Black Wednesday. And Jesse Livermore's shorting of the 1929 stock market crash. Livermore made around $100 million, equivalent to $1.4 billion today, by shorting the market before the 1929 crash. So those have been the biggest bets, the most profitable bets in history. And Saylor so far, before this bull run has even started, before the strategy has even played out, is up $14.9 billion with a B. So that's pretty impressive, right? But the most impressive thing here about this tweet is Saylor's response. Whoa, that was a heavy zoom, but good zoom. Saylor's response, I'm not selling. Why would he? Why would he sell right now? Why would anybody sell Bitcoin right now? Why would anybody sell MicroStrategy shares right now? Like, are you that blind to the situation right now? Do you have literally zero awareness what is happening in the world right now? Anybody selling their Bitcoin below $1 million right now is nuts. Guy's got 14.9 billion in profits. You made $500 on Bitcoin. You're thinking about cashing it out. Think bigger here. Think bigger. Do you know where this thing's going? In the last week alone, we've seen 10 new public companies announce that they're going to be buying Bitcoin on their treasury. Rumble being one of those. Microsoft is going to be adding Bitcoin after their shareholder meeting, after Saylor tells them why they should be doing it and gives them his playbook. The cool thing about this for me, the coolest thing about this whole shorting of fiat is that Saylor's just saying, this is what I've done. This is how you can do it. And if you need help with it, I'll do it. I'll help you. $14.9 billion. That's what he's worth. He could just disappear off the face of the earth tomorrow. But instead, he's showing other people, other companies and countries how to adopt the same strategy. Incredible. And I know that I had more stuff to talk about in terms of this. It's not coming to my brain right now. But that's what you need to think of. Oh, that's what it was. Going back to yesterday. This is kind of the main point of what I want to talk about. So thank God it popped into my head. But yesterday we talked about, somebody asked, like, pricing it in Bitcoin versus how do we really measure the value of Bitcoin? And so I said, instead of thinking about like the US dollar fiat price, which is a complete illusion, because we don't know how many US dollars are out there, legit. Like, they give us a figure, but that figure has never been audited or verified by anybody. So we're measuring things in a currency that has no limit, is unlimited, unknown in supply, and we don't know how much US dollars will be in circulation in 5 years from now. So it's impossible to measure anything against that. So forget that. Forget looking at the price. Forget measuring it in fiat. It's completely illusionary and irrelevant. What you can do is, we just talked about a couple minutes ago, Bitcoin's either going to zero or infinity. And I'm betting on it infinity. And I think that Bitcoin's going to reprice the whole world. And yesterday I said, this is how you should be thinking about Bitcoin. So thanks to Craig in the Zap stream yesterday, we figured out that there are 2.2 billion houses on Earth right now. So how do you measure those houses? If you're not using fiat, how do you measure those houses? Well, let's use Bitcoin. So 2.2 billion houses. There are 21 million Bitcoin. So Craig calculated yesterday that each house in sats is worth about 4,000 sats. 4,000 sats. People say, get to 1 million sats, you're going to be able to afford a house in 10 years. No, we're not thinking big enough. We're not thinking about what's really going to happen here. And it's inevitable at this point, pretty much. We got work to do, but things are definitely falling in place for Bitcoin and much faster than I could have ever imagined myself. And that's just houses. That doesn't include cars, because that's what you're capturing there. You're measuring all the houses divided by the amount of Bitcoin. You're pricing those houses based on how many Bitcoin there are. We've never had an asset with a fixed supply, truly fixed supply. The closest thing we've ever had was gold before Bitcoin. And so 4,000 sats per house. If houses were the only asset on earth, that's not factoring in land. That's not factoring in commercial real estate. That's not factoring in gold, vehicles. So like I don't know how long it'll take to get there in terms of when people officially measure things in sats, and that's when we're dealing in. But like nothing's going to change between then and now other than the perception of it. Right? If you understand that there's 2.2 billion houses and there's 21 million Bitcoin, then those houses are already only worth 4,000 sats, which is fucking crazy. And don't trust that amount. That's what we learned on Zap stream. I trust Craig, but don't trust me. Do that math yourself. And then ask yourself, does it make sense for me to ever sell any of these sats? Why would I? Why would I ever sell these sats? So a couple of things just to go take a little bit further. If you do need to spend some Bitcoin, just replenish it. Like I have no issues with that. I have no issues with people moving Bitcoin around. That's what the point of it is, a peer-to-peer electronic cash, but replenish it. Don't ever just buy a shirt with sats and then just, oops, I just spent 10 houses worth of sats on a shirt. Always replenish it, because you're never going to get these sats back again. I just don't understand. I don't think that people understand how early we are and where this thing is going to. So in the future, it won't make any sort of sense to sell your Bitcoin. It'll make sense to lend your Bitcoin or take on collateral against your Bitcoin. That's what Saylor's doing. He's just buying Bitcoin now that he's going to use as leverage and collateral in the future. That's it. That's MicroStrategy in a nutshell. And you can do that with your own life. So the man who's worth 14.9 billion in profits, that's not his net worth. That's his profits on this trade. He's not selling. So why would you? You have way more here to gain and to lose than Saylor does. So I really want you to think about that. I really want you to take that to heart. And, even living the future, even in the community that we have, like one thing we said from day one is we're already going to start living this. It doesn't matter what the fiat price is. It doesn't matter how much they say Bitcoin's worth in US dollar terms. We're going to start measuring everything. 1 sat equals $1. And that's the mentality we have in there. That's how we operate. That's how we make decisions. And if you take it, down this path, that's like $100 per sat. So even the Living the Future community is selling ourselves short here. I mean, what else do I say? I just feel like we just cut it off there.